Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, or Dr. J, and this is 3 at 3. It's 3 at 3 for August 18th, 2021. You're about to see unusual option activity as found by our heat seeker algorithm, as well as our sentiment indicators, where we have the full fire hose of Twitter, as well as Reddit, and Wall Street bets. And we're going to begin that presentation right now. Thought I'd start off with Bitcoin just because, why not? It's Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has made a nice move. If you recall, if you were somebody who was looking at it, perhaps even going beyond looking and investing, you know that mid-June we hit the high for volatility. And that high was approximately 6.5%. Now, you know perhaps that when we talk about S&P 500 volatility, we talk about it in terms of VIX, V-I-X. That's the CBOE's measure of volatility, created with and in conjunction with a professor from Duke University. And whenever we see a VIX of a 16 VIX would calculate a 1% move. A 32 VIX, therefore, would be a 2% move. So when we're talking about a 6.5 VIX, we're talking about a VIX reading of over 100. So in June, it was over 100, the VIX reading, even though, as you see, 6% plus. And today, it is 3.5, which is about a 56 VIX, as measured against on the same scale as we do the S&P 500. So when you're at a 3.5% move a day, obviously a lot less risky than when you're at the high for the VIX, which for this year, or for the recent past at least, was 6.5. So I trade this very similar to what I trade my stocks. I use the volatility, velocity, and volume to help me when I am making my investments for my portfolio. So when I've got a very high VIX or a very high Bitcoin reading, what do I want to do there? I want to be selling calls and buying asset. So worked out pretty well. If you want to overlay June through today, towards the end of June, we were trading towards 30,000, dipping even occasionally into the 29,000 range, and was lucky enough to buy it at those levels again, because I have one account, folks, that I trade the Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, and I do that through Voyager Digital. You've heard me say that if you've joined our daily crypto bite, which is every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I have one account that I trade in, and I have one account that I hodl, which, as you know, is a slur for hold. And why is it a slur? Because apparently some guy that had just lost his wife and a bunch of money in Bitcoin long time ago said, "I don't care, I'm still hodling." You know, he typed that and he meant holding, but everybody kind of embraced that as, okay, damn it, I'm just hodling too, meaning holding. So anyway, I have the one account that is offline, cold storage, hodling, the other account that I trade. And so in the account that I trade, I was lucky enough to buy Bitcoin back in at about that 30,000 level, sell a whole bunch of fat upside calls against it. And as the Bitcoin rallied, much like if the S&P rallies, the volatility goes down. As you've seen here, it lost half of its volatility, which probably means the options lost an awful lot of their value. And the underlying asset, in the case of Bitcoin, increased in value. So that's kind of a double winner, if you know what I mean, folks. So again, you've heard me say that before about my stock trading, that generally when the VIX is high, I am a buyer of assets and seller of calls. When VIX is low, which we're getting into that right now, I want to be getting out of calls, or out of stock rather, and into call spreads, because if you're a trader, again, non-taxable, and this is what I do, you have to consult your tax authority and or see if this is appropriate investing for you. But that's the way I do it. And it's worked pretty well for almost 40 years. All right, let's get started with the unusual, shall we? But before we do, I need to tell you guys, as I adjust my headband here, that the crypto boys are going to be talking about crypto in 10 coins. The crypto boys and the options oracle, AJ Monty, will be diving into assets with technical analysis. So if you're somebody who wanted to know about Bitcoin, support, resistance, whatever, if you want to do the same for Doge, the same for Ethereum, they are going to analyze all of these coins, as many as they can, starting today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You do not want to miss it. These guys are expert traders of crypto. AJ is the chart master. So make sure if you'd like to join that you sign up at Market Rebellion. This is not free. It costs you $1, $1 to join them. So you could join for $1. I think that also gives you access to their site for the month. But again, you guys have to check that out. Go to marketrebellion.com. Check it out. I think it's $1 for the first month. And if you're a member, you get to watch as included in that $1 for the first month. Bang. All right. Kronos. You guys know what Kronos does? I do. Kronos is a fabulous play in the pot space, let's say. So CRON is the symbol. I have been in and out of Kronos because of today's trade. I am in, and this one, let me just see PO. So right now, Kronos is trading $6.55. And I would say that this is one we want to keep our eye on, much like Tilray that I spoke of this morning. I spoke of Tilray, of course, because of their MedMen investment. So I think it's worthwhile to also watch Kronos Group here. They have had some pretty nice surges here and there. Obviously, pot has not been extremely lucrative this year unless you caught them at just the right times. That's what we're hoping to do here when we're looking at Kronos. Somebody bought 9,700 of those 650 calls at the money call, and they expire next week, not this Friday, next Friday. So I am in those calls. There is Kronos right now, about 654. You see the daily range on there as well. Been as high as 672, as low as 625. Volume, 1.5 million already. Keep your eye on it, folks. $2.5 billion company. Next one, QuantumScape, QS is the symbol for QuantumScape. So I like QuantumScape because it's lithium. It's a play on batteries and lithium, and you know that I like several stocks in this space. I like ABML, and I am a consultant to them, and I own 7 figures of shares of ABML. They are trying to uplist to the NASDAQ. I think when they do, the stock's over $5. Presently, it's about $1.45, $1.50, something like that. That's ABML. I'm also an investor in LAC, Lithium America. I have been an investor in QuantumScape, QS. This one caused me to get back into QuantumScape, symbol QS. And that was 9,300 of these QS November 25 calls were traded rather quickly for $1.98. But look at where that stock is, folks. And I'm going to pull up over here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Got to get the old Market Rebellion trading going here. All right. So in the case of QuantumScape, QS, I think the drugs are still hitting me from this surgery yesterday. But nonetheless, it's up $2.43% right now. I I don't like buying way out of the money calls. You guys know that. Regular watchers, listeners to this program know that I am not the guy that wants to bet a bunch, when you have a hunch. I'm the guy that is plenty happy with where I am financially, and I would rather just make a nice outsized return, but I don't need to buy a whole bunch of upside calls, out of the money calls to do that. So instead, what I do, folks, is I routinely do things like I did today, which is I bought the November 20 calls and sold the 25 calls. How much did I pay for that? Well, $3.60 and $1.95. So 360, do the math for you here, 360 minus 1.95, $1.65 I paid for something that can go to $5. So you know that I always want to get better than a 1-to-1 risk reward. I don't trade for 1-to-1 risk rewards. I trade for 2-to-1 risk rewards or 3-to-1 risk rewards. So what do you think a 3-to-1 risk reward does for this one? Takes us right to $5. So if QuantumScape goes to and through 25, a level that it has been this year. Let me see, when was the last time we were at 25? I'm just going to pull it up here, folks. Okay, the last time we were at 25 was, well, it was at 30. Let me see here. I'm going to focus in this one a little bit more. It was at, let me get, again, I'm going to stretch out my graph a little bit. In July, we were at $31. It has bled all the way off to where it is now at, at 2075. Look at the graph. There you see it. From 40 in May, all the way down here to 20. I think there's a value there. And I think somebody's going to figure that out too and unlock it. Biden's infrastructure plan, whether it's the $580 billion infrastructure plan, involves getting us on EV, electric vehicles, and alternative energies. These stocks that I've named for you, ABML, QuantumScape, Lithium America, these are all stocks that stand to profit from that and deliver clean to America, which is what I'm all about. So watch this one. I'm in QuantumScape, paid $1.65 for that spread, and I have it on all the way out to November. By doing that spread 1-to-1, I have addressed time decay, which is not rapid on something out in November, and that's theta, by the way, and Vega, which is volatility. If volatility comes down, that can hurt you if you own the option. Since I've sold options against options that I own, I don't get hurt nearly as much by a decline in volatility or in time passing. That's why I trade it that way. So stocks 1991 to $21 so far today, volume 5.4 million shares. Bang. Next one. Callaway Golf, ELY. The founder's name, ELY. Stocks trading 28.67. They're buying the October 29 calls. So you could buy these or you could buy an in-the-money call, your choice. Golf has made a huge comeback, as many of you probably are well aware, during the pandemic. Our head of marketing, Chris Solis, loves playing golf. So he's out there taking advantage of this. I think that if you're somebody willing to bet on golf, doing well between now and October, which is basically the end of the northern golf season, I would say this is an interesting play. So what did I do to play that? I bought the 28 calls today. These 28 calls in October have been trading in a range today of $1.88 to $2.29. They are presently trading at $1.95 to $2.10. So you put in a 205 bid, I think you're getting hit. Then I'm selling upside calls, not the 29s, because again, I'm talking about 205 for this one. I'm going to probably sell the 31 calls for 90 cents or thereabout. Haven't sold them yet. If the stock rallies, I will sell those calls. And then I would be in a trade that is approximately $1.05 for something that could go to $3. So that's the way, again, 1-to-1, how I would play that. There's a little look at Callaway. Again, just has bled off like crazy in the most recent few weeks, just from 34 down to 28, like picking them up on these dips. And it's already traded a full session's worth of volume nearly. Another thing I like. All right, questions? Yeah, you got questions? We've got answers. Send them in at Jon Najarian, Najarian. Let's see what the questions are today, folks. Skills. Will work on avatar. Okay, Brian, good job. His handle is at BRN1990. Big fan. Thank you for responding. Well, great. And you did. You got an avatar. It's the globe. Hats off to you for that. I like skills. You guys know that this is a big trade for Bryn Talkington, I think, as well as Kathy Woods. I think both are on this trade. And I like it. And I appreciate that you added that avatar on our suggestion. Woof. All right, random nonsense. And that is the handle at random, NONSENSED. Okay, added the D at the end there. How about Woof? How about Woof? We do have unusual activity. It goes up to the 2150 strike, I think. I'm going to pull it up right here again on my Market Rebellion. You guys can't trade on our platform yet, but you will be able to next year because we partnered up with Voyager Digital, and we have a stock options and futures platform that kicks butt. You guys are going to love it. So anyway, how about Woof? Well, let's see. We have options that expire in Woof at the, which one is that? I think it's the next week, 2750 strike, is it? Not 2150 strike. Sorry about that. And I'm doing another search just to make sure. WOOF. No, I apologize. They were up to the August 30 strike, which, that's pipe dream at this point, my friend, because the stock's trading at 19 and change. So I would say I like Woof, but I don't have any unusual activity. I'm not in it right now. And the last unusual activity was a couple weeks ago, and it has, just days to live because expiration is Friday. I'm not in it. And if I were to play it here, I'd play it at the money. I certainly wouldn't be out of the money in this one. DHI, are you still in DHI options? You're hurting me almost as much as the dentist. Actually, the dentist was fabulous. Thank you again, Dr. Levine. You were special and your staff did great. But DHI didn't do great. DHI came out, they were buying upside calls. I bought a lower strike and sold an upper strike, already exited the trade. I think a day or 2 days ago, this one went just south and I had to dump out. And I'm not too proud to say that when I have a loser, I do cut it. I'm not too proud to say not every trade is a winner. When they are winners, as you know, I try to take off half on a double, and then I roll a stop up against it as it keeps running to let my winners run. On losers, I don't want to let losers run. So I cut them as fast as I can. Why? Because I got into the trade based on unusual activity, based on sentiment and so forth. It didn't end up working out. So what do? You cut it without remorse and just move on to the next trade. So I'm sorry if you joined me in this one, you're feeling my pain. And I hope that the next one you do with us works out much better. Our hit rate is over 78% this year. When we see activity and follow it, we've made money on about 78% of those trades. But that still means you've got 22% that are losers. You can't eat like a bird and crap like an elephant. So if you make a buck on an option that goes from, for instance, 50 cents to $1.50 and you take half off, you're a happy camper. If you have that same 50 cents and you ride it to zero, you're working against yourself. If that option fell to 25 cents, that I paid 50 cents for, I cut it. And I say, I don't care until I see a new bit of unusual activity. I am not in those options any longer. That's the way I play it, folks. And marketrebellion.com/get started is how you can learn about remote learning, how you can contact us about coaches, mentors, how you can do things like join AJ Monty and the Crypto Boys tonight. Again, that will cost you $1. Anybody that's heard AJ Monty break down stocks and or cryptos knows that that's probably the biggest deal in finance right now, that you could join that 1 hour webinar for $1. And you get another 30 days of the Crypto Boys in the crypto room, where you can be in there 24/7 talking back and forth with literally thousands of smart crypto traders like yourselves. And if you're a newbie, they don't give you a hard time. They probably would want you to watch for a while rather than comment, but everybody gets to comment. That's the deal. Unless you're disrespectful, you get to talk back and forth with people about best opportunities in crypto. Where are you taking stuff off? Where are you putting stuff on? All of that goes on in our crypto room. Costs you $1 for the first month. And if you join, you can join that webinar. It's included for that $1 tonight, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Do it now, folks, and I'll see you tomorrow.